Hello everyone and welcome back to another Korean movie review by EonTalk. As always, I'm your host Ian, and today's video movie review will be on the new crime comedy, Pipeline. Pipeline was directed by Yoo-Ha, the director who famously directed Once Upon a Time in High School, A Dirty Carnival, and Gangnam Blues, to name a few, and all very good films. Because of his previous works, I had a pretty high expectation going into Pipeline. He was one of the pioneers that really made the quote-unquote gangster genre of Korean cinema what it is today. The film starred Seo-Hyuk, Soo-Hyuk, Moon-Suk, Yoo-Mok, Tae-ho, Yoo-Ram, and Bae-bin, and because of the cast, my anticipation grew even further. However, the movie shied away from Yoo-Ha's previous well-known genre and was more of a comedic crime film. Could he do what he did to the gangster crime genre to this more of a comedic crime genre? Let's first take a look at the detailed synopsis before I share my thoughts on the film. Pindori is a genius driller that's a legend when it comes to oil theft. One day, he receives an offer from a conglomerate successor, Konu, to partake in a grand-scale oil heist. Thus, he teams up with the master welder, Newbird, the man who has the underground blueprint embedded in his head, Chief Na, the human excavator, Big Shovel, and the watchwoman, Counter, to rob millions of dollars worth of oil. However, everyone has different plans and objectives, and once these start revealing, things take a turn for the worst. The members all dream to turn their lives around, but will they be able to succeed in the biggest heist of their lives? Before getting into the review, I'd just like to give a quick shout out to ExpressVPN. If you're looking to access more Korean movies but don't know where to find them, I highly suggest using ExpressVPN and accessing the Korean Netflix. By using ExpressVPN, you can bypass geo-restrictions, meaning you can be from anywhere around the world and access the Korean Netflix. If you'd like to access more Korean content, be sure to sign up for ExpressVPN using my link in the descriptions or expressvpn.com/EonTalk and get 49% off an annual plan plus 3 extra months for free. Better yet, if you sign up and don't like the service, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee, meaning you can cancel anytime within the first 30 days. Okay, getting back to the review, I'd just like to say that I'll be giving my thoughts and opinions of the movie from here on out. Therefore, there may be minor spoilers or parts about the movie that you may not want to hear before watching yourself. I'm going to keep spoilers to a minimum, but please be aware of this. Okay then, now that we got that out of the way, let's get right into the good parts about Pipeline. The movie starts off light and humorous and has continuous funny scenes throughout its duration. I enjoyed that it kept a light mood, albeit it being different from the director's typical style, and it had those chuckle moments sprinkled in that brought a smile to my face. There aren't much laugh out loud funny scenes, and some of the jokes were a little childish, which I'll get to later, but overall I enjoyed the lightness the movie had. The first 15 minutes or so of the film is like a recap of the trailers. Not everyone watches all of the trailers before going into a film, and so it was a good way to catch the audience up with what the general premise of the movie is about. That being said, I will say that I thought the story was pretty predictable and nothing out of the ordinary. However, it had a couple twists that I didn't see coming and caught me off guard. No, they weren't necessarily the best twists, but they were good for a light movie. Furthermore, I thought that the acting performances given by the actors were good. You really start despising the villains and empathizing with the protagonists. I especially enjoyed the performances given by Seo-Hyuk and Soo-Hyuk. I don't know, Seo-Hyuk is just full of that humane, admirable appeal, and so he's able to really get the audience to connect with the characters he portrays. I especially loved him in the K-drama Reply 1997. As for Soo-Hyuk, you really start hating the character portrayed by him, and that goes to show that his acting was chillingly good. Seo-Hyuk and Soo-Hyuk are actually also starring in a K-drama together that's being broadcasted at the time of recording, titled Doom at Your Service, and thus, as you can expect, great chemistry between the two actors. Moreover, the film had some interesting transitions. I'm not sure if it was enough to give it its own quote-unquote style, or if I can even say that it's actually good, but it was noteworthy and wasn't necessarily bad. Interesting nonetheless. There was another movie with a similar premise that released last year called Collectors. This was kind of like a mixture of Collectors and The Thieves. While I personally enjoyed Pipeline more than I did Collectors, it wasn't up there on the same level as The Thieves. Now that we take a look at what I found to be the positives of the movie, let's take a look at what I found to be the bad parts. As mentioned, there are frequent humorous scenes throughout the film. However, as I also mentioned before, some of the humor it had was childish and cringe. I will say that there are some good, light jokes in there, but some of the cringe moments it had really killed the mood for me. Especially with the new bird character played by Moon-Suk, I found to be very juvenile. Not saying that was Moon-Suk's fault or that he didn't have a good performance, but just the character he had to play wasn't something I enjoyed. Also, as I mentioned in the good parts, there were a couple twists in the film that I didn't expect. But minus those, the movie overall was pretty predictable. The ending was disappointing, and when the movie was all said and done, I found myself asking, so what was the point of the film? Spoiler alert, but in its conclusion, the guys end up not making any money. So what was the point of the film? And the biggest negative of Pipeline was that there were too many parts that didn't make sense. There were obvious logical fallacies that really stood out. How did the cops know that the cement/dirt is from the hotel by just looking at it? Big Shovel was shot in the arm but was perfectly fine and able to work? How can someone survive so many explosions and burns? Impossible. All in all, Pipeline was a good light film that was a different and new challenge for director Yoo-Ram. Although it wasn't up there with some of his other great works, I'd say it's worth watching if you're in for a light comedic crime movie. Personally, the high expectations I had led to the general disappointments I had with the film. That being said, if you're a fan of In-Guk, Soo-Hyuk, or any of the other cast members, and enjoyed films such as Collectors and The Thieves, I'd say this is worth a watch. I'll give Pipeline a ticket price value of $12. And that concludes today's review on Pipeline. Thank you to everyone that watched till the end, and I hope this review has given you some insight into the film. If you've seen or are planning to watch the movie, I'd love to hear your thoughts about the film, so please leave a comment or join the EonTalk Telegram group and we can discuss over there. If you'd like to access more Korean content through streaming like Netflix, be sure to sign up for ExpressVPN using my link in the descriptions to get 49% off an annual plan. Please also don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and would like more video movie reviews. Once again, thank you to everyone that watched till the end, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
어렵게 만나는구만.
천공의 명수, 일명 핀돌이.
여기 지하에서 작업해서 고압포스로 저기다 연결하세요.
한 방에 300억 좀 땡기시겠다. 현금 5억에 잔금 5억.
10억? 오케이. 대신 계약 조건이 좀 빡셉니다.
오케이. 50억만 내. 물탱크에 기름 만땅 채워서 300억 벌게 해줄게.
두더지가 한 골만 팝니까? 분명히 몇 개 더 있어.
열흘 안에 못 끝내면 네 목숨은 내 거다.
작업 중지!
가자.